Hello everybody, this is Yoko Anime Reactions, and this is going to be my review for Welcome to Demon School Iruma Kun Season 1, Episodes 20 and 21. I had to think for a second. One more video, and we will be done with Season 1, and then we can get into Season 2, which I can upload throughout the week. I could do probably 2 episodes tomorrow, then like 1 episode every day, and then I'll be done with Season 2, and we can enjoy Season 3 when it comes out. Anyway, they had the results for the Battler thing, and the one who ended up winning the grand prize was not the magical apparatus battlers, that was the broadcast battlers, because they were keeping everybody informed and everything and calm and all that while everything was going on earlier. And I was like, oh, come on, why couldn't it have been Iruma and the others? They were the ones who essentially stopped Curio and the fireworks stuff. And again, the others did not know. That Curio was responsible for it. Only the teachers and Iruma knew. So, they think essentially that's all done, but Caligo gets up on stage and essentially says, we have one more award to give out. And he essentially said that these three were behind stopping what had happened with the barriers, but they had acted out essentially without asking for any help from any teachers or letting anybody know what they were planning on doing. Essentially, they acted foolishly. And it turns out that was obviously Iruma and the others, and Iruma ended up going up a rank because of this. So now he's at 3rd rank. Dang it, what was it, Gimmel? Or is that the next rank? Anyway, he's at the 3rd rank right now. And he is sadly standing out even more than he wanted to. He did not want to stand out one little bit when he first started at this school, and look how much he's done over the course of the season. So, later on, now that Sullivan's out and about again, Omri's father shows up at the school while they are doing a reading, and thankfully he doesn't come into the room and catch them doing that, because who knows how he would react seeing them reading the forbidden texts. And he ends up running into Iruma, or finds Iruma. And it turns out that I think he suspects that Iruma is the human that Sullivan had brought over to the Netherworld. And he was talking to him, but he essentially warned him that, yeah, some demons are going back to the basics, back to how everything was chaotic and out of control back then, and that if there was a human there, it'd be very dangerous for them, because I'm assuming that they would get eaten. By this point, Omri shows up and essentially tells her father that, yeah, we've just been, chit-chatting, talking, and he asked her what you've been talking about while you two were alone. Obviously, she can't tell him they were reading the forbidden texts, aka the manga, because they are forbidden texts for a reason, though if he didn't want them read, why would he give them to his daughter? She would obviously be curious at some point to find out what the heck these things were. He gets the wrong impression and thinks that essentially Iruma is interested in Omri in marrying her. I'm like, dude, even if he was interested in Omri as a romantic partner, marriage would be the very last thing he'd be thinking about at this point, because they would have just started dating. And he absolutely essentially refuses to let that happen. He essentially told Iruma, yeah, you're not marrying my daughter. And he was like, what? I didn't say anything about that. Oh boy, and Omri is just embarrassed during this whole thing. Anyway, after this, we get to find out about the Dim Doll stuff. And I'm like, okay, so I was thinking when I heard about it, I was like, okay, pop singers. But apparently Dim Dolls are there to keep people from going into their evil cycles and help them relieve stress, because stress and violence or stress is what causes causes demons to go into their evil cycles, which causes them to become more violent and aggressive and all that stuff. I was like, okay. Anyway, we find out that the dim doll, Kurumu, is actually, I think what was her name? Clariel? The girl with the ice. The one with the glasses. The white hair. That is her. I was like, wow. I did not see that coming. Anyway, everybody's talking about it, and obviously Iruma has no clue who this is, or what dim dolls are, because he's not demon. Anyway, they end up getting him tickets, which we didn't even see this until they got to the meet and greet after the concert. And Kurumu's she's freaking out because she's afraid that he's going to realize who she is and go blab to everybody because she's trying to not stand out. Or she's not trying to draw attention to herself, essentially, because if someone finds out that she's Kurumu, oh, heck will break loose. And he actually figures out who she is because he noticed how she would have her hands folded while she's at school, and he noticed she does the same thing during the concert, and also the pamphlet, her glasses, her bag, stuff like that. So essentially he's very observant for his classmates. Or at least the ones that try not to stand out, anyway. And she freaks out because he figured it out, and she freezes him. And he ends up telling her that she essentially is the type of person to fade into the background without even trying. Essentially like the wallflower of wallflowers, like he says. And he essentially tells her that he's jealous of that because he ends up standing out all the time without even trying. He doesn't want to stand out. He wants to fade into the background so nobody pays too much attention to him and then realizes something is off. And she gets mad about this because she essentially thinks that he's been trying to stand out and steal her spotlight. But because essentially every time we see the newspaper, it's always him on the front page, and apparently her picture is a lot smaller and less noticeable. So I don't know what she wants. Does she want to stand out? And yet at the same time, she's not doing anything to stand out at school. So I don't know what the problem is. Anyway, she ends up falling ill because of this. I'll see you guys next time.